Cujo Kazula Lewis lived from 1840 to 1935. This is the last known survivor of the last known slave ship to enter the United States. Circa 1859, Cujo Lewis, a native of the Yoruba tribe in what is now the West African country of Benin, was one of 100 African men and women purchased and brought across the Atlantic to Mobile, Alabama, aboard the slave ship Colonial. After a period of de facto slavery, Mr. Lewis and other members of the Colonial group became free and organized a community in Plateau, part of today's Africatown Historic District. They form a self-governing society and established the Old Baptist Church, which is now known as the Union Baptist Church of Plateau. Mr. Lewis married Celia Abil Lewis, another Colonial survivor, with whom he had several children. He was known for working diligently to keep and share the group's epic history. Upon his death, he was laid to rest in nearby Old Plateau Cemetery, where a commemorative marker may be found. This memorial honoring Mr. Lewis and the survivors of the Colonial was made possible through the efforts of the Union Baptist Church and the generosity of donors spanning race and creed. May the example set by Cujo Lewis and the Colonial group inspire all citizens of humanity to choose perseverance and hope in the face of tremendous adversity. And this was sculpted by April Livingston in 2016. Long live Cujo Lewis. Good afternoon, good people. This your boy P9 reporting to you live from downtown Mobile, Alabama. And I'm gonna start this vlog off here on Church Street at the corner of Church Street and St. Emmanuel Street. And what we have right here is the Christ Church Cathedral. It goes an historic building that was established in 1822. Now, Mobile, Alabama was established in 1702. It was founded in 1702, and the city of Mobile is actually older than the United States of America and the state of Alabama. So it's an extremely old city. We're talking over 300 years old. So there is a boatload of history associated with the city of Mobile. It was under control under the French, the British, and the Spanish in multiple parts of history. But when it was founded in 1702, it was under the rule of the French in the colony of French Louisiana. As you can see right here, this is a marker with lynching in America. So between 1865 and 1950, and there were at least 6,500 blacks that were lynched in the South. And in 1865, newspapers reported that white mobs burned black churches and homes in Mobile, and that 138 blacks were killed in Alabama over the course of several months. In 1869, riots in Mobile left at least 3 blacks killed, whose names were not identified. So of course, it's a lot of history right here, but just like a multitude of other cities across the South, there was just a lot of lynchings that took place. Mobile was no exception. Here's a statue of King Felix III, who was first crowned in 1872 by the Mobile Carnival Association. So again, you're going to see a lot of historical figures who are of French heritage. And right here is a vestige of the second Fort Condé. So this is Fort Condé, which was built by the French in 1723 and later occupied by the British, Spanish, and the Americans. These foundations are the only architectural remains of colonial Mobile. So again, this was the 1700s when Mobile was established and it basically emerged. And these are a multitude of statues of individuals. Like you have one of African American heritage, one of early American heritage, Spanish colonial, British colonial, French colonial, Native American. So this is part of Fort Condé right here, just this open park over here, as you can see. And this is Chief Slaka Bomarenko, portrayed by Joe Kane, who revived Mobile's Mardi Gras in 1866 by parading through the streets on Fat Tuesday. So, just to give a little history of the Mardi Gras actually started in Mobile. So I know everybody, particularly a lot of people, know the Mardi Gras for being in New Orleans. That's the popular Mardi Gras, but there's a Mardi Gras that takes place in Mobile every year as well, and their Mardi Gras was before New Orleans' Mardi Gras. It's just New Orleans Mardi Gras became the more famous of the two. Mobile is actually a couple decades older than New Orleans, so that's another, but they're virtually, you know, about the same age almost the same age in regards to how old the cities are. And like Mobile, New Orleans has a lot of French architecture and things of that nature. And as you can see right here, this is the fort of Colonial Mobile. So as you can see, this is the British cannon that was established in 1760 from Fort Charlotte. And the Spanish cannon in 1710, excavated at the site of the King's Wharf. Okay. So this is looks like a museum. Has a lot of exhibits on the site in behind that gate, but it's closed. But I'm gonna keep going more into the downtown area, as I'm now on Royal Street. Now this building right here is the History Museum of Mobile, and it was originally the City Hall of Mobile, but now the History Museum of Mobile occupies this building. And the Mobile City Hall actually opened up in 1857. It was erected by Nicholas Holmes, who was the architect, and the contractor was Ray Sumlin Construction Company. So this building was erected in 1857, but restored in 1982. And would eventually house the History Museum of Mobile. So Mobile is the county seat of Mobile County, and in just last year, 2023, Mobile annexed a large area west of the city limits of Mobile, meaning that the population, it gained a lot of population, and its population was enough to put Mobile as the second most populated city in the state of Alabama, behind Huntsville. So it surpassed Birmingham. And there's a marker with Mobile's first Mardi Gras parade, which took place on Shrove Tuesday of February 25th of 1868. And it was at this intersection of Royal and Government Street. And it also made its way on Dauphin, north on Joaquin, and west on State, south on Claiborne. So it took a path pretty much throughout the entire downtown of Mobile. And this was back in the 1860s, so of course they were traveling via horseback. Wanted to come over here and get this. This is a statue of the trumpeter. Musicians and bands create the sounds of carnival in the birthplace of Mardi Gras, Mobile. So surrounding this park is a multitude of statues. I want to get this one as well. There's a statue of King a Lexus. And this one is of the Queen of Mamga. And this was the Gracious Majesty, first crowned in 1840. So a lot of cool history just right here on this Fort Condi block. But now I'm getting ready to make my way further into the city because there's definitely a lot more to take in. And that side of that building as well over here is called the Explorium Museum. Now I'm on Royal Street. Couple of restaurants, and there's a live music venue over there called Veets, and you could tell, and you can see right here in Veets, it's housed in a building that is definitely from the 1800s, and it has the cast iron balcony and poles right there. So again, it has a lot of similarities to French architecture, which you commonly see right here in Mobile as well as in New Orleans. So if you look at New Orleans, you'll see a lot of similarities to Mobile. Those two cities are very architecturally similar. But this building right here is the Renaissance Mobile Riverfront Plaza Hotel. And it was originally the Battle House Hotel. There's also a Hampton Inn Hotel over here. So a couple of hotels on Royal Street. There goes another building surrounded by the cast iron. And right now I'm on Dolphin Street. Go down this way. You guys see this building right here is the RSA tower. RSA being short for the Retirement Systems of Alabama. And they're the owners of this building. Now this building was completed in 2006. And that building, with the completion of that building, it became the tallest building in Alabama. And again, this was 2006. And prior to that, it was the shipped building in Birmingham that had that title. And what's interesting about Mobile is Mobile doesn't have a ton of skyscrapers. They don't have very many skyscrapers in the downtown. But the one that they do have is the tallest building in the state. I find that very interesting. But it functions as the Battle House and Renaissance Hotel, which you can see right over here. Now this building over here where they're doing construction, it looks like they're doing construction in front of it and on the sidewalks as well. They have the sidewalk blocked off, but this building is the Mobile Convention Center. I'm over here at the Hank Aaron Loop, getting ready to take a walk down St. Francis Street. Now Hammerin' Hank Aaron is a native of Mobile. He played 23 seasons in the Major League Baseball. He spent 21 of those seasons with the Milwaukee/Atlanta Braves, and his last two seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers. But Hank Aaron broke the long-standing Major League Baseball record for career home runs held by Babe Ruth. And he had that home run title up until Barry Bonds broke his total of 755 home runs in 2007. So Hank Aaron was such a great hitter that within an 18-year span between 1955 and 1973, he averaged 24 home runs a year within that span. So that's very impressive. I just had to give a shout out to the Mobile native and Hall of Famer in the majors, Hank Aaron. As I'm now on St. Francis Street. Now this is this is the Battle House Hotel, which was built in 1908. But this particular structure replaced the Battle House Hotel that was originally built in 1852. That structure was burned in 1905. And it was one of the earliest steel frame structures in Alabama. So this right here is a very historic building. And they too have a couple of cast irons on the side of the building. I'm at the corner of St. Francis and Royal Street. And this building right here is the RSA Trustmark building. So this is another tall structure in downtown.
Wait around while I'm parking.
Now this park right here is called Bienville Square. Bienville Square was named for Mobile's founder, John Baptiste Lemoyne Sieur de Bienville. And it's been a public park since 1824, when the Congress of the U.S. transferred a large plot of the land of Mobile to the city of Mobile, on the condition that Mobile would specify this and use it as a city park. So here goes a fountain right here, a beautiful fountain. Wish I could dive right into the cold water because it is extremely hot, but that is prohibited, so yeah. But this is a beautiful park though. It's really nice over here. I think I'm coming to the part of downtown Mobile where there's going to be a huge slew of restaurants and bars. Hey, check this out. This is called Loda, and the artist is Ginger Wochan. Oysters spawn when water temperatures rise above 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, nice. It's an oyster with a painting of the city of Mobile and all its historical structures. Again, the artist is Ginger Wochan, and it's called Loda, L-O-D-A. The Downtown Mobile District Management Court sponsored that art piece, so beautiful piece of art right there. So now I'm over here on Dolphin Street. Now this is a very historical street because I hear a lot of people when they talk about Mobile, downtown Mobile, they say Dolphin Street is the hangout spot basically because of all the live music venues, restaurants, and multitude of stores, souvenir shops. I mean, you name it, everything is right here at Dolphin Street. So I can imagine how it is at night, especially during Mardi Gras weekend. They have a Mexican restaurant right there. It's extremely hot.
Ooh, it's hot outside.
Yeah, extremely hot out here. Being that today's Thursday, I noticed that there are a lot of these breweries and taverns that have happy hour. It's just a little after 3 o'clock, so that's probably where a lot of people are right now. So I'm now on Joachim Street. I need to have these fans on. This right here is the Sanger Theater, located on Dolphin Street. And on January 19th, 1927, Sanger Street opened and it became Mobile's Palace of Entertainment. So it still is the entertainment center mainly in downtown Mobile, but it's right here on Dolphin Street. So as you can see, they have an array of events coming up in September. They even have Christmas plays, symphonies, and a bunch of, and also the orchestra plays here, the Mobile Symphony Orchestra. So the Sanger hosts a lot of events in this historic downtown. I wanted to get this marker. It commemorates Wallace Turnage, who was a 17-year-old slave in 1864 who was owned by a merchant by the name of Collier Minge, whose house stood on this site. So Turnage escaped wartime Mobile by walking 25 miles down the western shore of Mobile Bay. After surviving 3 weeks in the Foul River estuary, he paddled a rowboat into the bay. Wallace was saved from drowning by sailors in a Union Navy gunboat. In late August 1864, he was taken to Fort Gaines and freed. Turnage's heroic emancipation was one of the most dramatic for African Americans in the Civil War. He later lived in New York City, where he wrote his rare narrative discovered in 2003 and published in 2007 in the book A Slave No More. Through bravery and determination on his fifth attempt to escape, Turnage seized his own freedom. Yeah, that's legendary right there. Dude literally walked 25 miles to his freedom. I mean, yes, he drowned. He almost drowned. And he was saved by some sailors in the Union Army. But shoot, I mean, that's dedication right there. And then would later write a book about it. That was the first time I ever heard of Wallace Turnage. Again, a lot of times when I come to these cities, I learn about new historical figures. This is why I love doing what I do. Now I'm over here at the corner of Conti and Jackson. That house right there, I wonder if that's like a museum or something. You go check it out real quick. Okay, I figured this was a historical site. It's called the Gesnard House. It's located on South Jackson Street. And it was established in 1859. But look at that French architecture that I was telling you about. And you can also tell by a lot of the architecture here, the framework of these buildings, that this is a old 17th or 18th century city. This building right here is the Government Street Presbyterian Church, established in 1831. And it was founded with 21 members in 1831 by Reverend John B. Warren, but the sanctuary was erected in 1834. So again, this is the Government Street Presbyterian Church.
Wait. Walk signage or cross. Walk signage.
Now look at that building right there. That's a Holiday Inn hotel in a circular, like a cylindrical shaped building. And there's another marker right here. Le Marquis de Lafayette visited Mobile. So it sounds like another Frenchman. On this site stood the home of Mayor Samuel H. Garrow, where the Marquis de Lafayette was entertained on his visit to Mobile, April 7th, 1825. A French officer, statesman, and hero of the American Revolution visited the United States as a guest of the nation in 1824 and 1825. Mobile gave an enthusiastic welcome to the distinguished general. Okay. So again, we're talking early 1800s. So that by then, that was the 19th century. So Mobile is older than the American Revolutionary War. That's how old this city is. It's insane. I think this may have been, well, scratch that. No, this isn't the oldest city that I visited. That title, those titles go to St. Augustine and what's the other one? Pensacola. So Mobile may be thus far the third oldest city that I have vlogged in.